Welcome to another live story evening on Zoom and Facebook. Welcome to all our regular guests and those who are joining us for the first time tonight. Just a little background that with BMF Live Stories, we've been doing live stories now for a number of years. We did it online and in different venues. But then when lockdown came, we felt it was appropriate to do something where we had a regular testimony on a Monday evening where people would come and share their true life story. And tonight we encourage you, if you're watching on Facebook, to pass this on to your friends, to your relatives, to your neighbors, to your work colleagues, and tell them to log on and watch this wonderful story that you're going to hear tonight. And at the end, if you've got any questions you'd like to send, then send them through to George. Or if you have any comments, then send them on your post or on Zoom. And like many thousands of people whose lives have been changed through these programs, we trust that tonight you're going to have an experience that's going to change your life. And if you're looking for something, for a life-changing experience, at the end you will see a link for BMF Live Stories. If you click onto that, then you can make contact with us and we can help you to find the way forward. And just to tell you that next week, next Monday, we have a speaker from Uganda. We have Luke Kabugo, who is a high school teacher in Uganda. But tonight, we have a special guest. We have Andy Flute, who is a former boxer. And as we said in our advertising, he could hold his own with many people in the ring, and he's faced many of the top boxers, including Chris Eubank, Nigel Benn, and Joe Kosage. But even in those days, I mean, although he's a hard man, he had problems, as he showed tonight. He had problems with alcohol and other things, but his life was changed. And he is here tonight to tell you how that happened, how he became a man who could know the Lord Jesus Christ, and his life was completely changed. So I want to introduce Andy Flute to our guest tonight. Andy, we ask you now to come and share your life story. Thanks, Andy. You're muted, I think. Okay, Andy, can you start?
Okay, is that right?
There you go. You're on.
Okay, thank you, John. Thank you. It gives me great pleasure to be invited onto Life Stories to tell me. I want to tell the world what God has done for me and how He's changed my life dramatically from what it used to be. I'm a former boxer, professional boxer, a world-class boxer, and I was also a captain of the England team as an amateur boxer. And I've been a boxer all my life, to be honest, a fighter, hard man, that sort of a lifestyle. But I'll tell you a little bit about my story and how I managed to find Jesus Christ. And, I hope you enjoy it. And if anybody wants to ask me any questions at the end, I'll be willing to answer any question at all about any of the world champions or anything at all. So I'm going to start from the beginning, from when I was a young lad. I'm going to start from when I was about 3 or 4 years of age, and I started to just go to work with my dad. My dad was a scrap man, scrap business. We had horses, and all I wanted to do was go to work with my dad. My dad was a boxer, my uncle was a boxer, and my brother was a boxer. So, yeah, you got it. I'm going to be a boxer. So they took me to the boxing gym at the age of 3 or 4 years of age, and I just started watching and learning. Just started be hanging around the gyms with my dad, watching them train and just taking it all in, sort of thing. I never really at that age, I never, thought much of it then, but because they was boxers, I would just follow them to the gym all the while, so. But as the years progressed, like I said, I stayed hanging around the gyms, and then I was old enough to fight. You have to be 11 years of age before you can fight officially by Amateur Boxing Association rules of England. So I waited till I was 11, and I had my first amateur boxing match, and I managed to win that comfortably. It was a quite hard fight, actually. I boxed a kid who had 5 and won 4, but I managed to beat him comfortable. And then my next fight, I won that one on points, but my next one, don't forget I'm only 11. My next one, I travelled to Stoke-on-Trent, and I stopped the guy in the second round. I could smell blood, and I kept punching his head till I kept punching him till he went straight through the ropes, and I just kept punching him till the referee had to pull me off, because I was taught in the gym where I was training, like, it's it or be it. It's one of them. There's no mercy sort of thing. You got to win by hook or by crook. So once I could smell the blood, like the killer instinct in me, just come through, and I just carried on till I'd have just carried on till the ref said stop, and that's what I did. And then that gave me that fight gave me, like, a bit more. I wanted to do more. I wanted to pursue. I wanted to do more and more. And I never wanted to go to school. I was terrible at school, to be honest. All I wanted to do was make sure I was cock of the school, and that just come easy. I was cocking my junior school. I was cocking my secondary school. I was cocking my secondary school even when I won in the last year. So you can see, like, I was known as a hard lad, like tough lad, and my family was tough. I had a force from a tough fighting family, and but I carried on with the boxing, and I carried on boxing year after year. I was entered into the schoolboy championships, the junior championships, the National Association of Boys Clubs, and stuff like that. And I was winning everything. I was winning all the while. I was very strong. I was very strong and very tough. And I could take a punch. And I wouldn't mind taking a punch to land a punch. And I done well. I done really, really well. I carried on through up until all through the juniors and until I was 17 years of age, till I'm nearly ready to fight senior. And then I was, because like of all the championships and all the things that I'd won and all the stuff, the National Association of Boys Clubs and stuff like that, to be the best in England in every weight and every year is quite an achievement, and it's like boxing at the amateur at the highest level. And, then I was called to box for England, which, is a great honour to represent your country, and which I did. I did it. I jumped at the chance, and it was great having the England tracksuit on and going to Crystal Palace. That's where the England training camp was. And it was, great weekends training away from home. And I learnt a lot on the England training squad, to be honest. I learnt a lot. But as soon as I got old enough to about that age, like turning into senior, 17 years old, 18 years old, I started to celebrate my victories by having a drink of alcohol. And once I'd had a couple of drinks of alcohol, I liked the taste of it. It was never a problem. But once I'd had it, once I tried it a few times, and I liked the taste of it, it's something like I always wanted. I had someone just telling me, nagging me all the while, telling me to have a drink. But I carried on through with my boxing career, and I had some great victories. I went to West Germany, and I boxed their captain. I was captain. They made me captain. There's some great lads on the team. We had a great team. We had a great camaraderie. We had a great. It was all good. And I think this is probably one of my bestest victories I've ever had, to be honest, because I was boxing a really good lad. He was their captain, and the England coach told me to take my time and feel the lad out in the first round. Well, my dad was my trainer, and he knowing me and knowing I was tough and I was strong and I could hit hard, and my dad told me to go out first round and put it on him really, really hard and try and win the fight in the first round. And that's what I did. I did listen to the England coach, to be honest. And I just, as soon as the bell went, I went straight out and I just put it straight on him, and I stopped him in the first round, which was great. I see the pain, I see him grimace, I doubled the left hook, head and body, and he just landed in a heap in his own corner. And the sense of victory and that sense of victory and that sense of a heroic feeling and that feeling of power and great. Well, it was I can't explain the feeling. It was just wonderful. And we won the match. But I've done it again a few other times as well for England. I boxed in Bulgaria. I boxed the Bulgarian champion and knocked him out in the second round. But I had to box every day in a multi-nations tournaments, and I boxed the world amateur champion from Cuba now, Raymond Garby. I had to fight the day before, and then I fought him, but he beat me on a 3-2 decision, which he did fair and square. He landed a few more cleaner punches in the last round. He was a tall guy, and he was rangy, and he was very, very elusive. And he turned professional. He jumped ship, and he was only beat by James Tooney from America, who was one of the best fighters to ever come out of America. So the level of the standard of fighting you can see is just like the highest you can get, So, but even on that camp, I was captain of that as well. And after the tournament had finished, we all had a good drink and a good bevy, and I got a few of the lads drunk. I got and a few of the lads were sick. They couldn't take the drink, but I could take mine. I was a drinker, and a couple of the lads who was sick, and he was being ill, and my mate Tony Costello, he wore very well. I had to turn him over and put him in the recovery position to stop him choking on his own sick. But so you can see like the drinking there, it was just a celebration drink and stuff. But after I'd boxed for England a number of times, I thought, well, I'm boxing. I've done it enough times now. I'm boxing the best in the world for a pat on the back. There was no Sport England and all that then. It was all, you had a bit of expenses and stuff like that. But the one time I had to get my own train fare home and my own tickets to get it and pay for stuff and all that. And I'm thinking, I'm boxing the best in the world for a pat on the back now. Once the novelties wear off and you've done it a few times and you've done it at home and you've done it abroad, and you start thinking, well, where's my career going to go next? So, I decided to turn professional. I went professional at an early age, 2 months after my 19th birthday, and I was still a young lad, really, But I was all in all the local papers and all the stuff, Flute turns professional and stuff like that, and and it started off really well, it started off. But I was also working for my dad, and we had a scrap business as well and stuff. And I used to get in I used to have horses and stuff, and I used to breed, get my mares put in foal, and I'd deal in cars and I'd deal in lorries, and I was in that sort of stuff, and I was into all sorts of criminal activities as well, to be honest. The sort of life that I'm totally shied away from today. But I was into everything, sort of thing, and I was known for, my toughness, my boxing, my family, scrap business, horses, everything, So I'm just trying to get a picture of the sort of lad that I was. And people used to think I was a bit arrogant as well, because, but I don't think I was arrogant. I was just confident. And I think because I believed in my own ability, and I really did believe in my own ability, and I really did think I was invincible at that age. I really did. And I say professional anyway, and I got a good few victories under my belt at first. My first fight was quite a hard fight, to be honest. From baptism, I boxed one of Brendan Ingall's lads from Sheffield, who was a very, very good coach. Brendan Ingle he's dead now, but he's one of the best coaches ever to come out of Great Britain, to be honest. His lads was always good, and he had that that low switch hitting style, which was hard. But I managed to get through the fights and stuff like that. And then, but what happened was, my first ever loss as a professional, it was on a cut eye. And like the lad I lost to, I normally would, he normally wouldn't have lasted a couple of rounds, to be honest. And that was devastating for me. I'd sold hundreds and hundreds of tickets, and the fight was stopped in about 62 seconds. And I was devastated. But I'm going to just say this now: like I'd never cut as an amateur boxer, and since I'd gone professional boxer and I was old enough to drink. See, when I was amateur, I wasn't really drinking, but now I was older, I was drinking. So I don't know whether it was the drink that had thinned my blood out. I've been told, that could have been the case. It could have been just that professional boxing is different to amateur boxing, but I'll never know. I'll never know that one. You know what I mean? But I had my first loss, and I was absolutely devastated. But it made me thrive for I just thought I'd come back better. But when once you've had like a loss as a professional, you're supposed to build yourself back up. So I needed to get another couple of wins to get myself back, to get like on the road towards a title fight or anything like that. So, but I managed to do that. I had a few more setbacks as well, but within 3 years of being a professional, I found myself boxing for the British middleweight title, which is a great honour, and it's hard. There's some great fighters like Alan Minter and Tony Simpson and stuff like that who boxed for the British middleweight title. Terry Downs and stuff like that. And it was middleweight. It's an hard weight division. But within 3 years, and I'd lost a couple of fights on cut sides as well, but I'd still managed to get myself there. And I'd had some mad summers as well, because like through the boxing season when it's closed, I used to, because I'd like drinking and that now, I'd party and stuff like that. And I remember going away to Cavos and working the door. I stayed over there for 3 months, and put on loads of weight and stuff like that. And I was knocking loads of people out and drinking loads and getting into all sorts of scrapes and doing all sorts of criminal activity. And I couldn't come back on a plane. I was in so much trouble. So I had to get I had to come back by land. It's another story, but I'm just trying to paint you a picture of the sort of lad that I was like, and I was doing all sorts of criminal activities and stuff like that. It's all in my book, Jesus in My Corner, My Boxer's Journey from Hell to Christianity, but I ain't got time to go into all them things today. But I'm just trying to give you a picture of the sort of corruption and the sort of man that I was. And then after a crazy summer of doing all that, I'd come back and I'd start training, and then I'd start fighting again. But really, I shouldn't have been doing all this crazy stuff. I should have dedicated myself to my boxing career while I'd got the chance. I shouldn't have gone on away for months drinking and just binging and putting loads of weight on and just crazy drink and drugging it and all that. Because it's taking that much toll out of your body when you're expecting your body to win your fights, and then and then you're battering your body, and it's got to recover from all the drink and the drugs and all the stuff like that. So, but I thought I knew best. I was young, and I just thought I could do anything. And but I managed to get up to the British title in 3 years, which was which was good, and the fight was live on BBC One on Sports Night. And it was watched by millions on BBC One. Harry Carpenter interviewed me. It was great. My first words was to him, you know what I mean, Harry, because of Bruno. And I boxed on the same bill as Frank Bruno a couple of times, and it was it was great, like, just to be on TV, like on BBC One, watched by millions. But I lost the fight anyway. I lost the fight on a cut after 7 rounds. The fight, there was nothing in the fight, to be honest. But I boxed a good champion on his first defence, and when you fight a champion on the first defence, they're always at the best, But there was nothing in the fight anyway, and I lost on a cut after 7. My eye was too bad, But I suffered with cut eyes all the way through my career, to be honest, and I suffered with, not really dedicating myself properly enough. I never reached my potential, but I really wished I would have now. So if anybody's listening, who's boxer, give it all you got while you got a chance, because I didn't, and I wished I would have done. But I carried on anyway, and as I carried on, my career was going from strength to strength as well still, but I was still drinking. I was still going out drinking and stuff. I'd stay off it bits, do some training, do some things, you know, and I was asked to go to. I'd already sparred with Nigel Benn by this time. I'd already been on a training camp with Nigel Benn, and I met a guy named Jimmy Tibbs. Jimmy Tibbs is like a hard East End tough guy, and he took me to one side and he said to me, he said, Andy, he says, you're the leader of men. He says, God's going to use you one day. And I just laughed at him. I was 21 years of age. I laughed at him. I just said, Jimmy, are you mad or what? You know, and he said, Andy, he says, you mark my words. He said, will you come to a church with me tonight? I said, yeah, if you want me to. But I don't really want to go. Like, it's only because Jimmy was asking me to go. And he picked me up and he took me to a church. And that was it. Anyway, I never felt nothing. Nobody dropped me back off. The camp with Nigel Benn finished, and that was it. And we just carried on. We went our separate ways and stuff like that. And then carried on with my boxing career and carried on doing what I did. I was asked to go to Brighton to spar with Chris Eubank while he was on his world tour. I was his main sparring partner. I'd done hundreds of rounds with Chris. But you know what? I drank every single night. I loved Brighton. I loved the nightlife. I loved it, man. I was just out every night. I had everything all paid for in all the hotel, top hotel. But a lot of sparring partners was coming. They was getting battered every time on the first day. But me, I could stick it out because I was tough. And I was, that's one good thing I could say. I was tough, and I stuck it out lots. I'd done hundreds of rounds, and they would call me back and forth. But I loved it. Just one big party for me, But slowly, as I was getting older now, I was about 25 now, and I boxed for a British title. I sparred with Nigel Benn already. So, I mixed in good company. But my boxing was suffering because of my drinking. I'd got the party lifestyle. I liked drinking. I liked going out. Of course, I ain't because I did. I liked it. I liked all the razzmatazz and all the stuff and that. And every time I went to Brighton, I just out every night. And it was great. Sparring with Chris, he treated me well. He's a gent. He's all right. Barry Hearn his manager and promoter. Barry Hearn, who was the manager of Steve Davis and all the snooker stars. He had the match room and all the stuff like that. And Chris Eubank had told him I was his best sparring partner he'd ever had. Ronnie Davis, Chris's trainer, said I was, because it was only me who could hold me on with him most of the time, and he wanted to sign me up, so he offered me a deal. And he offered me a deal to sign with him and stuff. And Barry come to watch me spar with Chris. Chris being Chris, typical. They throw a punch in the first round, so I didn't throw a punch either. So it was like stalemate. It was like a bit of a, but I know Chris was just trying to draw me in, and then to open up on me. But I don't fall for it, because I know him. You know what I mean? But he was like a fight every day with Chris. He did try to. If he could knock you out, he would knock you out. It would no tippy tappy. You know what I mean? I think being a paid sparring partner. Being a paid sparring partner for these world champions is harder than fighting them, because you've got to do it every single day. You've got to do between 6 and 8 rounds every day, 5 days a week. I've done it for lots more as well. I've done it for Joe Calzaghe. I'd say Joe Calzaghe is the best out of a lot, to be honest. I've done it with lots more as well. I've done it with Seven Odker, Marcus Bayer. I went toe to toe with 11 world champions altogether: Richie Woodhall, Glenn Catley, Robin Reed. You name all the boxers of all the 90s era. I shared a ring with every one of them. I could hold me on with every one of them. But, I got in the ring hungover sometimes. I got in the ring without a doubt hungover. But I've done more rounds with Chris sparring than anybody else. But Barry Hearn, anyway, he said, I'll make you world champion when Chris Eubank retires. Join the camp. He says, we'll have your first fight in Sun City in South Africa. And that was it. That's what I decided to do. I stopped boxing for Mickey Duff for the